We're happy to have you with us at Family Housing Resources. As you know, we're a small organization, so we um, truly appreciate the effort of volunteers and interns in helping us to expand our capacity. And we're really excited about some of the projects that we're having this year and having you all on board. Let's just take a minute for each of you to introduce yourselves so you know each other. And then we'll get started. Landon, do you want to start?
Uh, yeah, let me just hold on, something happens.
Oh, I can start with somebody else. Emily, you want to start?
Sure. Um, I'm Emily, and I'm just volunteering for a few hours a week. I have background in research and business and all kinds of data related things, so I'm just helping out with admin work where I can.
Thanks, Emily. Alalie?
Hi, I'm Allie. A lot of people shorten my name to Allie, and I'm a video intern. I'm a current U of A, University of Arizona student with a major in film and television. So,
Awesome. Thanks. Landon?
Hi, I'm Landon. I am also a current U of A student. My major is sustainable built environments, in Kapla. Um, and yeah, I mean, this internship is for credit, but also for work experience and, admin experience and all that jazz. Sorry. Um, so yeah, it's 10 in the morning, so my
Yes, I
sense of
gotcha.
humor isn't really that great yet.
Awesome. And Emma, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, yeah, I'm Emma. I'm a student at Santa Monica College. This is my second time volunteering, and I think I'm going to be doing some administrative work and then also helping out with some like project-based writing, like more like writing projects.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to jump in. I am going to share my screen quite a bit and reference some things. I will say that one of my PDFs is a little bit out of date, so I will point out where there are errors and correct those as we go along. Um, so I want to start with just sharing our vision and mission. This is off of our website, so you can find it anytime. Um, our vision is that we envision a community with equal access to quality, affordable housing and pathways to increased wealth and financial freedom. And our mission, closely related, is that we create lasting solutions to help individuals and families reach financial freedom through housing support, education, and partnership. And we are a 501c3 nonprofit that was started in 1991. I'm going to flip over. Does everyone see the welcome to FHR? Cool. All right. So, of course, we're happy to have you join our team. And we're going to go over these things right here. I'm not going to read those out because we're just going to go through them. But we have a few things on our agenda today, but it won't be that long of a meeting. We're first going to start with our core values, and I'd like each of you to just take a minute to read through these and then select which one resonates with you the most today. And we're going to share out what those are and why it resonates with you today. Is anyone ready to start?
Yeah, I could share. Um, I think accountability is a big one because I think that having, not even just here, but just like in general, like having a sense of responsibility is sort of like a very, you know, mature thing to have that obviously not everybody does. Um, so I think that that's very important to be able to, perform in any capacity to like, not just what your limits are, but also, being able to admit when like, you make a mistake and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I can go.
Great.
I'm looking at impact. I think the lasting positive change part of that is great. I think a lot of the times we tend to think in just the short run, and I really like that idea of, helping people to make changes that will last and really impact their lives going forward, rather than just in the short term.
Awesome. Love it.
I can go next. Uh, I think that the compassion one is probably the most important one for me. Just like, because I just think kindness and like being empathetic with like everybody around you and their individual lives and experiences and is just really important across like your whole life and my whole life.
That's great. Thanks.
I think what stands out to me is integrity, because I feel like that's really important in this work, to be honest. And also to be, I guess it includes like accountable, like good for what you say you're good for and all that kind of stuff, as well as like having strong morals, which I think is important when you are working in like an organization like this.
Awesome. Thanks, Emma. I would say for me today, respect stands out, particularly the description of respect there, welcoming all individuals and their unique life experiences. I mean, I think like working with volunteers and interns allows us the creativity of working with different people and getting new perspectives and fresh perspectives, which is really important to our work. I would say the same is true with our clients, and being able to get their input and impact. But they all, as Emma said, they all, they all connect to each other, right? They're all pretty closely connected with each other. And they are our core values, and we do talk about them quite a bit, and so you'll hear those come up. So I appreciate you being open to that discussion about it. I will also say on our website, underneath our mission and vision, there's a little bit more built out about each of those core values. So if you ever get a chance and you're interested, take a look. A little bit about us. This, of course, is our homepage. It's fhrtucson.org. I'm going to go to more about us and just share a little bit of who we are as a staff. This was our last picture from our last staff retreat that we had last spring, and we were at Youth on Their Own here in town, and we did a packing project as part of that. So that's a picture of that, but nonetheless, Megan Headings is our executive director. You'll meet her and a number of these people next week on Monday at the overview, program overview. Megan has been with the organization about 5 years, maybe going on 6 years, and she has a real dedication to being responsive to the needs in the community and really getting community feedback in helping to drive, what programs we have and what work that we do. Krista Curtis is our Director of Accounting and Compliance. So she heads up our finance department, and then also does some compliance work, overseeing some affordable housing communities across the state to make sure that they're in compliance. So it's a lot of, inspections and looking at their stuff and so on and so forth. And that's me. In addition to in our finance department, we have Irma Shaney. She's our accounts payable specialist. In our program team, this is Chris Gansetto, who is our program manager over our home ownership division. And then Nicholas Pereira, who is our program counselor. Landon is working with Nick, as a matter of fact. And Chris, when that happens. Brian Perez is our education program developer, and he really heads up our financial education and then other types of education initiatives. Emily is working with him quite directly. Brian Jackson is our housing stability navigator, and that's a relatively new role with us, which is about helping people to remain housed and avoid eviction or to find housing after eviction or if they lack housing. It's Brian Jackson. Our property team manager team is Kimberly Pierce. She's our regional property manager, so that oversees all of our apartment complexes and helps to run those. We happen to have one property that's located in Benson, Arizona, and Melissa Pacheco oversees that one. And then we have another major property which is located here in town, which is called Silverwood Casitas, and that is a senior specific property. We have a new property manager. Her position is not up here yet, but her name is Jennifer Cruz. And then Sylvia Estapa is our maintenance tech, and then Eric Diaz is our maintenance tech in Benson. So as you can see, we are a small staff. So we appreciate the contributions that you're going to make to FHR. And then just to some emergency procedures. This is really meant for if you're in person or doing events and things like that, to follow any kind of emergency procedures, if there's injury or accident, to make sure to report those so that, we can make corrections and so forth. And I'm going to show you if you are in person and something happens where the form is to do that. But overall, we just always recommend to people to make use of good judgment always. Customer service expectations. FHR expects volunteers and interns to exercise good judgment and courtesy in their interactions with staff and clients in all mediums of communication. And FHR is committed to treat every person with due respect, following our diversity, equity, and inclusion values. And after this meeting, I'm going to follow up and send a number of documents. One of those is going to be our diversity, equity, and inclusion commitment statement. So you have more information about that. Confidentiality. All information pertaining to clients is strictly confidential. Confidential information will not be shared with anyone outside of FHR. And any information heard or read that may be interpreted as private or confidential is to be respected and kept that way. You've all signed a confidentiality agreement form to that end. And we encourage you to ask questions if you ever are unclear about confidentiality issues. I'll add one thing there because Allie, you're going to be working on videos and potentially some client stuff, client stories and stuff like that. And in that regard, we always get release forms from clients in order to be able to share their stories. Timesheets. We request that you fill out timesheets so that we can track your hours and that we can report those hours to our board of directors and to use that information in fundraising and grant writing. And then additionally, some of you may have a requirement that you're going to need access to those hours, that record of hours, and we'll be able to sign off on that. We do have a timesheet that I'll be sending you, and I'll also show you on our website where that is. But if you have one that you need to use for your specific program, you can use that in lieu of ours, but just make sure that I get a copy of that. Now this information says to send it to volunteer@fhrinc.net, which is fine, but you can also just send it to me. That's probably easier to remember because you've been in contact with me already, and we'll be able to do that. I'll be able to, get that to the right place so that we can record those. I will also add, and this is the first time, we're really excited, we're switching over to a new CMS system, database system. Really in regard to our housing counseling program, but we're going to add in a lot of other programs, all of our programs, including our volunteer program. So at some point, we're going to have like a portal where you can log in and log in your hours directly there. Whether that will happen during your time with us, I don't know, but we'll keep you posted. I've already gone over FHR staff. This is definitely out of date, so I wanted to say that. Expected behavior. FHR is committed to providing a work environment that is free of sexual harassment, discrimination, or intimidation, whether based on gender, race, sexual orientation, color, religion, national origin, age, disability, or any other protected class. We expect volunteers and interns to engage professionally in an environment that encourages learning new things, socializing, and developing skills. This particular slide is out of date, but I'll point out what is still valid. Sort of on the left are programs or things that we work with on a pretty regular basis, and on the right are some partnerships. So Home and Wish are specifically related to our home ownership work and counseling, and those are down payment assistance programs. Home is through the city and the county, and Wish is through the Federal Home Loan Bank of San Francisco. But both provide to people who qualify some down payment assistance funds that help low-income people to be able to purchase a home. And you can also, in some cases, layer those so that you can get quite a significant chunk of money in order to help with that, with your purchase. There are some additional ones that are available. There's the Arizona is Home program, which is specifically through the Arizona Department of Housing, which is around this year until the funds run out. And then there was also through the Federal Home Loan Bank of San Francisco a middle income program, which is for people who are a little higher income than what these other programs are for, which typically comes around in the late spring and then runs until it runs out of funds, which usually takes about 8 weeks. So that wrapped up maybe about 6 weeks ago for this year. And then we also, for our home ownership, we work with a lot of portfolio programs through banks and credit unions. So to help people to find whatever resources might be available and might apply to them and their circumstances. Sarah, the COVID Emergency Relief Assistance is a program that we no longer have, but has really it has led to our housing navigation program. So Sarah was how we got our foot in relation to helping people with rental assistance. And we did some private fundraising at the beginning of COVID, and helped to distribute about $100,000 worth of assistance to people who were facing eviction. And that was before the federal funds came about. And then when the federal funds came about, we worked with the city and the county to help distribute those funds for the 3 years or whatever that was around. That ended last November. And then we still brought on a housing navigator this year in order to be able to help direct people to whatever resources might be still available in the community, which are far less than they were in the last few years. And then finally, FHR Cares is related to, but a completely separate organization from FHR. But you might see it on our website, and so I like to talk about it. FHR Cares is a foundation that gives funds to other like-minded nonprofit organizations. The funds for that came from a number of years ago. Some of the properties that FHR owned were sold. The proceeds were put into this fund, this revolving fund, and that's how they help support other organizations. On the right are some partnerships that we have. We are actually we're started by the PIMA IDA, which is the Industrial Development Authority, and we are a service organization for them. In addition, CIC and SALT were started in the same way, so we're all sister organizations. CIC is Community Investment Corporation, and they really focus on small business development, on monitoring and compliance for charter schools, and some other work in that area. They also administer, they're the fiduciary for the home program. So they cut the checks, basically. SALT is Southern Arizona Land Trust, and so they do some development work. And we actually partner with them on we are partnering with them on a couple of projects related to affordable housing development, which you'll learn more about on Monday. TRIO and STULO. STULO was an organization that worked on student loan debt. And we were working with them, and we're launching a program right at the beginning of the pandemic. We put a pin in that because of the federal moratorium on student loan debt, and we haven't revisited going back and starting that program up again, though there might be a need, in the future. But I think STULO has also gone out of business. And then TRIO is a down payment assistance program that's related to the rent to own situation. So we partnered with them on a number of different things. Social media. We do have different social media accounts. We mainly use Facebook, Instagram, and have started using our YouTube again, and we're hoping some of the work that Allie does will be added into there. So we encourage you to like us, love us, join us, and if you ever have ideas for stories or posts, please share. We're going to hop back over to the website so I can show you these things. Again, back to the home page, you're going to go to support and then volunteer. And there's some basic information, but if you scroll down, there's a couple of things here. There's a volunteer handbook, which actually I'm going to send you, and has a lot more information about policies and procedures and things like that for your information. Related to that, we have a volunteer handbook acknowledgement form that I need you to fill out and sign and return to me. That form is stating that you've received the book. And then volunteer application and consent form you've already done. The incident report form is, that if anything should happen, you can fill that out. And then timesheets are here as well, but I'll send you a copy. Essentially, you can fill this out by week, or you can fill it out by multiple week, and have your range of dates, and fill in a slight description of your work and the number of hours. And then we will enter this at this time into our database, and then we'll have a record for you if you ever need that in the future. And we also use that to report to our board of directors and are using grant writing and fundraising. So that is the end of what we're covering today. As a reminder, Monday is going to be about learning more about the actual work that we do. Are there any questions right now? All right, it's pretty straightforward. All right, well, it was great to see you all, and we look forward to seeing you on Monday. And again, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.